A woman walked home alone, her lantern flickering in the dark. Suddenly, she froze. There, just a few feet away, a figure in white stood silently, its eyes glowing, staring right at her. She let out a scream that echoed through the empty streets. The ghost of Hammersmith had appeared. From the shock of seeing the ghost, the woman suddenly collapsed to the ground, her lantern rolling beside her. When she finally awoke, she was trembling and pale, her voice barely a whisper as she recounted the terrifying encounter to her family. Days passed, but the fear and stress had taken their toll. She grew weaker with each passing day. Eventually, she succumbed to the shock, leaving the town in quiet horror. The ghost of Hammersmith, it seemed, had claimed its first victim. Frightened by this terrifying event, the residents of Hammersmith began whispering about the ghost in the white cloak. Each night brought increasing fear and tension. People claimed to see it slowly wandering the streets, its eyes glowing in the dark, following every passerby. Panic spread like wildfire through the town. In their desperation and fear, the villagers decided to form armed patrols, determined to capture the mysterious figure before anyone else fell victim. The armed patrols moved cautiously through the foggy streets of Hammersmith. Every shadow seemed to shift. Every distant sound made their hearts race. Whispers of the ghost in white spread fear even among those who were part of the patrols. As they rounded a corner, tense and alert, one of the villagers spotted movement in the dimly lit street. Shapes in white, confusing, indistinct, caused panic to rise. Francis Smith, a young tax official, gripped his musket tightly, his hands trembling. In the shadowy glow of the flickering gas lamps, he saw what he thought was the ghost of Hammersmith. Acting on instinct and fear, he fired, and Thomas Millwood, a local bricklayer wearing a white coat for his work, collapsed to the ground. The villagers gathered around the fallen bricklayer, horror etched on their faces. The foggy street, once filled with whispers of the ghost, now echoed with cries of fear and sorrow. Francis Smith stood frozen, musket lowered, realizing the tragic mistake he had made. Panic and disbelief rippled through the group. What they had feared as a ghost was merely a man, misidentified in the darkness. Word of the incident spread quickly through Hammersmith. The town, gripped by a mix of superstition and fear, became even more cautious at night. People whispered about the ghost, yet the memory of the tragic death served as a grim reminder. Fear and hysteria could be far more deadly than any spirit. Yet, as time passed, the truth slowly came to light. The ghost that had haunted the streets of Hammersmith was never real. It had been John Graham, an elderly shoemaker who wore a white cloak as a prank to frighten his apprentice. What began as a harmless joke had spiraled into terror, fueled by superstition, fear, and the darkness of night. The villagers struggled to come to terms with the tragedy. Francis Smith, the young man who had fired the fatal shot, was racked with guilt, realizing how easily fear could turn perception into disaster. Hammersmith learned a harsh lesson, that panic and hysteria could create monsters more dangerous than any ghost. Yet even knowing the truth, the story of the Hammersmith Ghost endured. Parents warned their children, travelers recounted eerie tales, and the foggy streets seemed to carry whispers of the white figure long after it had vanished. The legend remained, a chilling reminder of the thin line between imagination and reality, and of the destructive power of fear.